And I know a lot of people have been wanting me to do a mock draft on the channel, but like, I'm stupid. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But if you want to see that, if we get 10,000 likes, I'll do my actual real mock draft on the channel sometime soon. Why, dude? I'm totally gonna get exposed for my lack of intelligence, but you guys voted it, so if you don't like my mock draft, bite me. So if you watch the rest of this video and get pissed off at my picks because I'm stupid, you're actually the stupid one, because you had a big disclaimer here at the beginning. Alright, so here's my mock draft. It's gonna be super simple, super chill. I did my research right here. Got a lot of notes using this handy dandy website, the Draft Network mock draft machine. Let me know in the comment section below who you think your favorite team's gonna draft this NFL draft. With that said, let's just not waste time. Like, I think we all know who's gonna go number 1. Like, why do we even need to waste time talking about it? Like, Trevor Lawrence is gonna go number 1 to the Jags. Like, that's just not even debatable. Like, if you think otherwise, just bite me. You're the stupid one. Like, why do we even need to waste our life on it? I've already wasted enough time as it is. Now, this is where things get interesting. Draft pick number 2. I personally think the New York Jets... Oh, this is important too. I'm not predicting any trades. Like, who do you think I am? Freaking Adam Schefter? No, I'm just gonna do the actual draft order. And if trades happen, they happen. Like, I can't actually freaking predict that. Like, who do you think I am? Like I said. Anyways, I'm gonna predict to the New York Jets, Mr. Zach Wilson. I know he's climbed his way up the draft boards recently. Like, he has so much talent. I think, like, teams are going to fall in love with him, and specifically here, the Jets, and I think they're going to end up trading Sam Darnold. I know they could go elsewhere and trade away, but I think they're going to go Zach Wilson. If they pick here, like, teams are going to fall in love and think he can be the next Pat Mahomes, which he does have, like, the arm talent to do so. I'm not saying, obviously, he's going to be Patrick Mahomes, but you get what I'm saying. Like, teams want him to be a Patrick Mahomes, hence why they're drafting him here, because he has freaking great arm talent. So, Zach Wilson, New York Jets, pick number 2. Now pick number 3, and this is where things already get funky. Miami Dolphins, another team that could trade away, but I think they are going to go ahead and pair Tua up with his former teammate. Yes, we are going Devonta Smith. He's just so good, dude. I know he's a little undersized, but man, one of the best receivers I've seen in my entire life. I know this could be a stretch. I think a lot of people have Jalen Waddle. A lot of people have Jamar Chase ahead of Devonta Smith on the draft board. But I just think, like, Tua being familiar with Devonta Smith and playing together. Guys, you gotta remember, Tua, I know this, like, doesn't have anything to do with where he's getting drafted. Like, this is not with the Miami Dolphins. Like, hey, we're gonna pick him because of this. But if you don't remember, Tua threw the game-winning touchdown pass in overtime against the Georgia Bulldogs in the national championship game to other freshman Devonta Smith. So, like, how crazy would this be? Pair him back up in Miami, and I think they just give Tua a weapon. I think they're gonna do whatever it takes to give Tua everything around him to succeed, because they think he could be a franchise quarterback. So that's why I have them going Devonta Smith. Like I said, they could easily go Jamar Chase here, or even go offensive tackle. But that's my instinct here. Like, sometimes I pick against my heart, but this is what my heart says, and not necessarily my brain, but my heart thinks they're gonna go Devonta Smith. Pick number 4. I think this could change, and I'll explain why. Justin Fields to the Atlanta Falcons. Reason being, heard a lot of stuff recently. Who left the freaking TV on, dude? But I have heard a lot of teams have Justin Fields kind of falling down their board just because they're kind of worried about how he can scan the field, progress through his reads. So I wouldn't be shocked here if the Falcons end up going quarterback, but a different direction than Justin Fields. But I'm going to stick there for now. So Justin Fields, the Falcons. Pick number 5, Cincinnati Bengals. They can go a bunch of different ways, but I think like the same exact kind of thought process here with Joe Burrow versus Tua. And I think the Bengals are going to go Jamar Chase. Once again, they won the national championship together. They once again could easily go offensive line, get Sewell from Oregon, maybe even Rashaan Slater, or even Kyle Pitts. But I think they're just going to pair Joe Burrow up with somebody he's familiar with. Easily, probably, maybe, I don't know, the most talented receiver, raw talent receiver in the draft this year. But just trying to give Joe Burrow some amazing talent like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase in the field at the same exact time, Tyler Boyd. That'd be a sick wide receiver core to give Joe Burrow for the next, like, 5-10 years. Wow, pick number 6, and we're still not going to pick a defensive player. Pick 6, we are going to go Kyle Pitts. I think at this point, like, they need a playmaker. If their Jalen Hurts is going to be their quarterback moving forward, they might actually draft a quarterback here. I don't know. I doubt they do. But if they don't, I think Kyle Pitts would be amazing. Like, him, Dallas Goedert in that scheme, like, he's just, Kyle Pitts is amazing. He's absolutely amazing. And I think, like, at this point, I don't think the Eagles can go wrong picking Kyle Pitts here. He's just way too freaking good. Like, this guy, I think, is one of the most for sure things out of this draft. Now, pick number 7, Detroit Lions. Who do I have them going with? Oh, that's right. Another wide receiver, Jalen Waddle. Trying to give Jared Goff some help at that wide receiver core. They could easily lose Marvin Jones. They could easily lose Kenny Golladay. Like, they're going to need some help. And if they're serious about, and they sound like they're serious about trying to build around Jared Goff, give him a wide receiver like Jalen Waddle. I know this is crazy, like first 7 picks, not one defensive player, like pretty much all skill position players. But it's just how the draft works kind of sometimes, you know? And now pick number 8. Now, this is where I know people are going to scream at me, but I have my reasoning to do so. Pick number 8. This is going to be where everybody disagrees. I'm going with Mr. Where are you? He's 33? Mac Jones, are you serious? Plenty of reasons here. Number 1, I think Panthers are going QB here. They could trade for a QB, but they don't. They're going to go for a QB here. I'm pretty freaking sure. Number 2, Mac Jones was coached by the Panthers coaching staff at the Senior Bowl, where he was pretty freaking solid. Didn't play in the game, but in practice, everything, they loved him. Number 2, hearing so many reports right now that his floor right now is 8. That means a lot of people out there in the NFL think that he won't get past 8, maybe even drafted higher. So I think it just makes too much sense. They're familiar with him. Mac Jones, I think you guys have Mac Jones all wrong. Like thinking he's just all about the talent around him. No, this dude is incredible. Reminds me of Big Ben. Like the way he moves in the pocket, like the way he's not fast, not athletic, but still finds ways to move in the pocket, create time, even though he's not the fastest guy in the world. I love Mac Jones. I got him going number 8. Now, number 9, the Denver Broncos. We finally have our first defensive player selected, Caleb Farley, out of Virginia Tech. They need a cornerback, best one available. He's solid. I think it's a plug and fill kind of player. Player number 1. Nothing else, really to say about it. No point in wasting 5 hours. Pick number 10, Dallas Cowboys. Another one that might could be traded, but I'm going to go here. He fell way too far here. Penei Sewell out of Oregon could go as high as number 3. I mean, heck, could he go number 2? Probably not. No, the Jets aren't going to pick him. Maybe they could. I don't know. Like Tyron Smith, he's been injury prone the last few years. The Cowboys offensive line definitely isn't what it used to be like just 2-3 years ago. It was one of the best in the league. He's a plug and fill kind of player, play immediately. He's still kind of raw, but he could still, I think he's going to be an all-pro kind of player. I think the Cowboys would be stupid. If this guy fell all the way to 10 and didn't draft him here, I think this would be an amazing pick for them. Now, pick number 11, the New York Giants. And they kind of get shafted here because they definitely need a playmaker, a wide receiver. They need a tight end. And in this mock draft, all the best ones are gone. They could reach for a Kadarius Toney here. They could reach for a Rondale Moore. There's probably a few more, maybe a Rashod Bateman, but I don't think they do that. If they are going to get one of those guys, I think they would maybe trade back here. So with pick number 11, for the New York Giants, I actually have them going with, I think, at this point, the best player available. They have him all the way down at 15. What are you doing? Micah Parsons. I think this guy is a monster. Once again, I think he's probably 3 or maybe top 4, in my opinion, most for sure things in this draft. I think this guy's going to be an all-pro. I think he's just way too good. I think at that point, Giants would just pick the best player available, and I think that is him. Now, pick number 12, the 49ers. I have them going Rashaan Slater. You're going to see a lot of offensive linemen get picked here. The first one didn't get picked till 10. You'll see a lot of them fall here. Rashaan Slater, I think he's super solid. I think he's more NFL ready than what Sewell is right off the get-go. So I think the 49ers, they could use him plug and field. They probably could go couple different positions here, but I think at that point, he's the best player available. Now, 13 for the LA Chargers. I have them going Christian Darrisaw from Virginia Tech. They need an offensive tackle big time right now. They need an offensive tackle to block for freaking Justin Herbert. So I think he's the best one available at this point. Yeah, some people could say this guy from Texas, Mr. Samuel. He has a really cool first name. But Christian Darrisaw, super solid out of VTech. That's already the second first-round pick this year of Virginia Tech. This would be, but I think this would be, a really good pick. A safe pick, but a good pick for the Chargers nonetheless. Now, Vikings here. Another team that could maybe even go wide receiver, but I don't have them going wide receiver. So number 14, for the Minnesota Vikings, I have them going. Where's the man at? Mr. Gregory from Miami. He's pretty raw, but this guy has potential to be an insane pass rusher. He's just good. They need help. No longer have Yannick Ngakoue. Obviously, Everson Griffin's been long gone. They need somebody to rush off that edge. I think he's a little raw, but if they want to take the shot on him for a chance to have an all-pro player, he'd be a nice pick at 14. Now, number 15 for the New England Patriots, I have them selecting, where is he? Oh, he's right here. Number 9 on the board, Patrick Surtain. I think, like this, there's so many corners right here that could go off the board, but there's that huge Alabama familiarity factor with Bill Belichick and the Patriots always drafting Alabama players that they have, you know, the option to pick between like 3-4 cornerbacks they think solid. They kind of have them evaluated around the same range. I think they go with the Alabama player, so I think 15 would be huge. I think the Patriots would kind of be dumb at this point. If they're not going to go quarterback, I think they'd be dumb to not pick him. Picking a cornerback, Cardinals, they'd be kind of probably pissed if this happened because they'd probably definitely take Mr. Patrick. They need a cornerback bad. Patrick Peterson's just not what he used to be. And we're going to go, like, he's so far down. I think he's better than 20. J.C. Horn from South Carolina. Once again, it's a plug-and-fill corner. I mean, I think he's going to be solid. I mean, it's the biggest position of need, so take the best corner available at that point. Now, 17 for the Raiders. We're going to go Kwity Paye for Michigan. Once again, solid edge rusher. Raiders could use one. He's the best one, I think, available at this point in the draft. 17, I think it makes sense. Now, pick number 18. They could have gone offensive tackle with their first pick in the first round. I think this is where they go offensive tackle to help once again for Tua. So at this point, they get an offensive lineman that they needed and a wide receiver to put around Tua to give him everything he could possibly use. And we're going to go Samuel Cosmi out of Texas. I think the best tackle available at this point. So that's going to be the selection there. Pick 19, the football team. This is where we have Mr. Trey Lance going. I think the football team, I would be shocked if they didn't draft a quarterback. Like, obviously, all this can change throughout free agency. Like, obviously, if the football team signs a quarterback, they're not going to draft one. I mean, maybe they still could, but you get what I'm saying. So if everything stays the same and they need a quarterback, Trey Lance falling to 19, I think they would love that. Now, Bears at 20, we're going to go Mr. Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC. They have a bunch of different needs. They can use an offensive lineman. He can play anywhere, guard, tackle. Probably end up playing guard in the league. And I think he'd be a solid pick. I mean, you can't go wrong with him. Pick 21, the Colts. I think this is like super simple, like what they're going to do here, because their biggest need is left tackle now. Anthony Costanzo, he retired, and it just comes down to what left tackle or offensive tackle are they going to take. It's either Jalen Mayfield, Tevin Jenkins. Like, it could go either way. I have Jalen Mayfield on my board, so I'm going to go Jalen Mayfield for the Colts. Now, my Titans. Pick number 22. Who do I want them to pick? One of my favorite players in the entire draft is Xavier Collins from Tulsa. I don't think they're actually going to end up picking him. They could, but I think they're going to just fill the #1 need, like plug-and-fill kind of player. And that is, where is he on this board? Hello? Where are you? Why is he so far down? Aziz Ojolari. I see every mock draft, like, mocking him, the Titans. Like, it goes so many different ways here. Anybody in the front 7, like, I would take. Like, any position in the front 7. He's not, like, a sexy pick here. I kind of would be worried about picking 2 straight Georgia players after seeing how Isaiah Wilson ended up. But I think he just makes a lot of sense. Once again, I really, really want Xavier Collins. But we'll stick there. I think that, I mean, you wouldn't be mad at that pick as a Titans fan. Now, pick 23, the New York Jets. Who are they going to go with? I have them going with, where's the man? Jalen Phillips out of Miami. Now, the Titans could pick him, but the problem with him is, like, the kind of character issues, off the field stuff, immaturity. And I think he's possibly long-term a better player than Ojolari from Georgia. But I just would not take 2 players that have immaturity like issues like Isaiah Wilson did. That's why I didn't have him on the Titans. So if the Jets are willing to like take the risk, I mean, I think that's a great thing. I think he has like top 10 talent, but just the problems off the field. Pick 24. In this one, I did not see any mock draft picking this guy here, but that's the man I want, Xavier Collins. He just, like, watch his film, watch how he plays. Like, that guy just seems like a Pittsburgh Steeler. Like, I know they need some offensive line help, but at the same time, they have a ton of players that are going to be leaving. Like, they don't have the cap space to re-sign on defense. This guy's just a Pittsburgh Steeler defensive player. He's just a Pittsburgh Steeler linebacker. Xavier Collins, he's a beast. I think, honestly, he might end up being the steal of this freaking draft, especially if he goes to Pittsburgh in that scheme. Now, 25 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have them. Who do I have them selected? Oh, yeah, this man right here. Be shocked if he kind of fell this far, but it's just how things go sometimes. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah out of Notre Dame. He's just a beast. Like, he's going to be solid in the league. Browns, they once again could go a bunch of different ways. Like, probably more than likely they need defense. They could go edge rusher, but I think they end up going with Christian Barmore out of Alabama. Like, the guy's such a monster. Like, it depends, though, how teams evaluate him, because he didn't really, like, kind of come on until the playoffs. But in the playoffs, he was unfreaking guardable. And I mean, like, that's against the best competition, so take it how you want to take it. But, like, he's good. They need somebody in that front seven, like, to add to that defense. So I think, like, they could go a bunch of different ways. Like, who else? I mean, Joseph Asai out of Texas. A bunch of different ways, but I got them getting Christian Barmore. I think that would be a solid pick. Maybe a safe one, but a solid one. Now, 27, the Ravens, once again, could go a bunch of different ways, but, like, the biggest glaring need, like, their defense, like, what's more glaring than their freaking wide receiver problem, dude? And take the best one available here, Rashod Bateman out of Minnesota. I think he could be so overlooked. This guy's a beast, an absolute freaking beast. I don't even think he played last year. That might be why he's kind of falling underneath the radar. He's a monster. Like, that's the type of wide receiver that the Ravens need. So, Rashod Bateman, like, if the Ravens have him fall to 27, if I was the Ravens fans, I'd be ecstatic. Now, 28, like, they could go quarterback here, like, but who would you go? Kyle Trask is the next one available. I don't think he gets picked in the first round. I mean, maybe. You never freaking know. But they have so many players that are going to be free agents, and you don't know who they're going to be able to re-sign. So, like, I think the safest pick here is go best safety. Trevon Moehrig out of TCU, the best safety in the draft, in my opinion. Malcolm Jenkins is like 75 years old. Like, he's a safe pick, and I think at this point, when they have so many glaring needs, get a freaking safe pick that you know will help your team for the near future. 29, Green Bay Packers, another team that could go a bunch of different ways. Like, I initially said wide receiver Terrence Marshall, but got to thinking, they never pick wide receivers in the first round. Maybe they do now, because I know Aaron Rodgers kind of getting pissed off of the organization, so maybe they finally give him something he needs, but I think the Packers, they give him something that he needs. Maybe not a skill position player, but I think they once again go Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle, Alabama. Guy's so versatile. I don't know if he'll play tackle in the league, but he could. Like, that's the big thing. He can play tackle, play guard. Heck, probably could play center if you want him to. Now, pick number 30. This one, I once again didn't see anybody mock this, but, like, I think this would be dangerous. Najee Harris to the Bills. Just imagine Najee Harris in that Bills offense. Like, that's what happened down the stretch. They couldn't move the ball, like, running the football at all. They passed the ball 70 freaking times a game, it seemed like. You put Najee Harris, who's not only a Derrick Henry style runner, but a guy that can catch the ball. I almost said effectively like Christian McCaffrey, like obviously that's a stretch, but he catches the ball extremely effectively, a great pass catcher. Like that right there could make the Bills offense ridiculous. I know they have some defensive problems, but like, I don't even know who can stop the Bills offense if they stay as productive as they were this year and then add a running back like Najee Harris. Now, pick 31 for the Kansas City Chiefs. I was struggling in this one, to be completely honest, because I feel like in my heart, they're going to go wide receiver. I think Sammy Watkins is going to be gone. My initial reaction was I think they're going to try and get Kadarius Toney. The guy's so talented. Like, you add him in an offense, like, you just move him around everywhere. But I got to thinking, like, kind of have that same player in Tyreek Hill. Like, so I don't know if they'd add two of them. Like, I wouldn't be shocked, but, like, I'm going to go a little bit smarter here. A lot of people had this guy mocked here. Nick Bolton. They obviously have some defensive problems. Their linebacker core easily the weakest link in the entire team. Even go offensive line, but, like, offensive line's not as bad as you think. It's had so many injuries, and, like, their starting left tackle, or was it right tackle, is a freaking doctor, and he took the year off to help with the pandemic. What a guy. But I don't think it's as bad as you think. But, like, it looked bad in Super Bowl because they're all out. So, they could go offensive line, but I'm gonna go Nick Bolton here, little safe pick. And pick 32, Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Imagine they added Kadarius Toney. It all depends, like, who they can and cannot re-sign. I'm just gonna go safe here. The #1 team need, as according to the mock draft machine, is edge. Go best edge player available, Joseph Asai. Bim, bam, bosh. NFL mock draft, done. How bad did I do?